Let's go. I've been there, I've done that. Hey, but what do I know? I wrote this and won that. Oh, but what do I know? I got degrees and went to school. But what do I know? Survived backstabbers and Judases. But what do I know? I've been out here, man. I've been doing this. Let's get to the dough. I've been showing it. I've been proving it. I'm ready to go. Discuss the what, whys, and who did it. Let's get to the show. This podcast just might be the go. Oh, but what do I know?
Y'all, welcome to another episode of a What Do I Know podcast. It's your girl Rukus.
And your boy Trey Smith. I ain't gonna be nice to y'all tonight.
Oh wow. Dang, okay. Well,
I ain't high enough to be nice.
that part. I'm not tipsy enough. So I guess we're gonna have to balance that out. So hey, forewarning is fair warning. So tonight, y'all, award is. First of all, I want to address my hat because I know some people probably looked at it real fast. Like, does that say what I think it does? Yes, it does. And it's very relevant for what we're talking about tonight because we grew up in the times where people could say whatever the hell they wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter where they was at, any venue, any setting. It was, freedom of speech. I say what I want to. If you think it's funny, great. If you don't think it's funny, move on. You know what I'm saying? If you were shocked by it, then just put a sticker on my shit and don't buy it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I grew up, but that has a lot to do with what we're talking about today, which is cancel culture. The way y'all move now is when people say things and do things that people don't like now, they choose to not just make the personal decision to say I don't want to fuck with it. They choose. It's a whole culture now where everyone has to get on board to not like each other. And so that's what we're going to talk about today is cancel culture, kind of get into some of the people who were canceled. I don't know if they're canceled or not. We're going to talk about that.
It kind of comes in waves.
Yeah, I don't know. The attempted cancels, the potential cancels, the people who should be canceled. We just going to get into that. So make sure y'all get your comments in below. Let us know who you think should be canceled. Make sure y'all, chime in. Let us know. That's what this is about. So
I do want to make a disclaimer before we start.
Disclaimer. Okay.
Now, when it comes to these kind of conversations about entertainers and people, if you online saying stupid shit like XYZ is playing chess, not checkers, and you don't actually know how to play chess, just don't talk to me. Not tonight. Don't talk to me. That's all I'm saying.
So you're saying people can't use they can't use terms like
most of
they
the
can't
times,
use terms unless they play chess. Like you can't use that term. I mean,
most of the times when people use them terms, it's because they don't know what they talking about, or
people are saying,
the people who will call you a sheep but want you to follow what they're saying blindly. Like, well, wouldn't that make me a sheep? You know what I mean? Or just y'all don't understand. This is all part of a bigger plan. And then you go, okay, well, what's the bigger plan? And they have no answer for you. All right, man, just shut the fuck up. Just say you don't know
the bigger plan. Not my bigger plan.
Right. What is the bigger plan?
If
for some reason I don't know, inform me. And if you go, oh, well, if you don't know, no, nigga, that means you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Shut the fuck. Some of you motherfuckers do coke and want to have a logical explanation. You wasn't thinking logical when you did them drugs. Fuck out my face.
No, I thought that was just a random picture of Brett Favre there. We're going to come back to that. What was that? We'll come back to that. So, all right. So before we dive into this, because I'll show you mine if you show me yours. What's your understanding of cancel culture and how all of this shit works?
I think for me, it's just... There's a way sensitive side to it where people just feel like, okay, I don't like this. So they read into things on a surface level instead of digging deeper into what somebody said or what the meaning of it is, or just I feel like people aren't giving each other the space to kind of be who they are, or, being lazy about the control over the entertainment that they have or the entertainment that other people see. Because to me, if it's some shit I don't like, disagree with, don't want to watch, don't care for the song, just turn it off. It's that simple. So a lot of y'all give too much credit and weight to entertainers as far as what they're here for. Their purpose is to entertain you. Their purpose isn't to raise your kids. You're not supposed to, you know, you can learn a life lesson from an artist, and that's a plus to it. But ultimately, it's not their goal to teach you right from wrong or what to like and what not to like. That's your place to decide that. That's you mentally have to decide that.
That's true, right? I'm with that. I think cancel culture, I don't know, it's some weenie shit. I mean, I mean, like, I just really, I really don't know how else to describe it. Like, cancel culture is the most weenie shit I've ever heard of. Like, I'm the kind of person where I grew up with a group of people, right? Like, we all hung out together, we all Bellside and all that fun stuff. Everybody knows. But nobody can ever associate with me with one group in the Bells because it don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love everybody. You're not gonna sit here and tell me who I can be friends with. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
some of my closest friends don't fuck with some of the people that I fuck with, and that's unfortunate. But hey, they'll never get to know what kind of quality people that I fuck with because you don't have to. But at the same time, I'll be damned if you tell me who I can be friends with. I'm not that beta. So for me, all the whole cancel culture shit is a bunch of beta ass people running around doing weenie shit and just following in behind people instead of just making their own choices, as far as I'm concerned. With the whole cancel culture, all this shit is just some weenie shit. But at the same time, I mean, people love doing what other people is doing. So it's like, you know, if they can jump in and be popular by saying, I don't like them either, or whatever, then people gonna do that weird shit. So I think it's weenie and it's weird. All right, so.
Now, y'all see how we had a difference of opinion and ideas, and we didn't go, fuck it, the show is over, and leave, because it's okay to be healthy adults and have different opinions and ideas of what you think certain things are.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's okay, y'all. I promise you it is.
So do you agree with the idea of canceling people or canceling people? People, like, when the fuck, like, shows get canceled, you know what I'm saying? Parties and events get canceled. Fucking people? We're canceling people. Not death, not killing.
I blame Nino Brown.
Canceling.
It's linked.
Canceled it, yeah.
Cancel that.
With the
bitch.
champagne.
It started with him. I don't know if necessarily cancel people. I think some people just, they get to a point where they do too much or they conduct themselves in a way that people do eventually go, all right, we tired of this shit. We're not really fooling with that. That's one thing, but it's another to just, I don't like when he had wore that thing that he wore. And some of y'all are weird. Like when, you know.
Exactly. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand the concept of canceling. So if y'all under cancel culture, everybody who can explain this to me is, but what do I know? We're here to learn shit as we learn as we educate. So somebody out there, if you know what cancel culture really is about and what they're trying to actually prove, then chime in and let me know, because I'm very confused on how this action moves because of the people who get canceled. Like, when you look at the people, the attempts at cancellation, just the things that they've done, cancellation seems like, to me, you're not in danger of being canceled, so to speak, until you talk about the LGBTQ plus community, or Jewish people. Because everything is anti-Semitism. It'll be anti-Semitic comments. It'll be LGBTQ. But every day you hear fat shaming. You definitely hear black shaming. You hear women. Everything is fair game until you talk to those two topics, and then it's cancel.
All hell breaks loose.
Unless you're Lil Nas X, and then it's too gay, and then it's cancel because he's too gay. Yeah, like, y'all are weird. I don't understand.
Yeah. I
don't understand. So what types of actions do you think people should be getting canceled for?
I mean, some of the shit, you know what? I can honestly say I don't know, because you look at right now, the big phenomenon is Jeffrey Dahmer all over again. And I'm like, I mean, not only is he canceled in real life, but it's just the fact that we're looking at him now, and you got folks who are wearing costumes and all that old crazy shit, and there's this big ordeal about him. It's like, we are aware what this man was doing, right? And it's so hard to gauge where we're at with it, because we have people who have done some reprehensible shit, some shit that is like, if someone did this to your family members, you'd lose your whole mind. Somebody be ready to go to jail behind it. And we're still like, nah, we gonna watch their movies. We're gonna listen to their music. I feel like a lot of people just, and my elders used to say this, niggas will accept anything as long as you make them dance. And that's why you see so many people who are, well, we still gonna listen to this person's music. We still gonna watch this person's videos, knowing the things that they've done. Had it been done to you or somebody close to you, you'd feel different about it. But, you know, since that nigga making you two-step, here y'all go.
Okay. Right. So that's the R. Kelly. How you feel about, clearly, you gotta be, that's the only dude that's, you know, two-stepping in and all that, unless you want to look past, you know, older stuff and cancellation. It's just, it's, y'all, so R. Kelly is like he's a half-ass cancellation. He's somebody
half-ass
who
cancellation.
People cancel, like you said, because he makes you step, and that's literally what y'all did. Y'all condemned this man, and finally, like on TV, finally had this man screaming and stuff at Gail, trying to get his point across, and screaming at Gail and whatnot, and y'all said he was canceled, took him off the radio, made sure he wasn't anywhere played, made sure he wasn't getting any shows, make sure he wasn't going anywhere and doing anything, and then made him like the #1 person on TikTok, which is the biggest app, most recent app. Everything came and the TikTok developed after all of this, still allowed this to happen, and his music to even be put into their options for this to, so it's like, is he canceled or not? So I mean, I don't understand that. How do you make that much? I'm assuming he's getting paid for his song being on there. Yeah,
there's still a royalty involved. And it's, you know, a lot of the excuse that I hear with R. Kelly is separate the man from the music. But to me, it's like the man didn't separate his personal. He used the music to fund his crazy ass personal life. So for me, it was my moral compass is like, yeah, he's cut off my playlist. I can't really get into it. If I get married, don't play Step in the Name of Love at my wedding. That's just my moral compass. And don't get me wrong. Do you think I like listening to like when I joke about having my hair braided? Do you think I like singing the Mario version of Come On and Braid My Hair more than I like singing the R. Kelly version? Absolutely not. His is funkier, but I had to let it go. Like, man, I can't sing this Mario shit. But I ain't gonna sing the R. Kelly one either. Fuck it. It's not fair, but, you know, moral compass and shit.
Right. This is when you wish you could cancel people. I wish y'all could see who's calling. This stalker ass dude that I keep cancel people. Speaking of canceling people, anywho, the types of actions that I think should get you canceled is like outright racist shit, like KKK. We got a whole group of people whose whole thing is based in violence and killing and supremacy, and we don't care about their actions. We don't get to. We're not who get them off of the. I don't understand, y'all, the culture like in it, like what the fuck? If you have the power to do these things, then I don't understand why you wouldn't move to do things like that. Instead, you want to take people's music off and then turn around and put it on. It's just fucking weird. Y'all are weird.
Yeah.
Y'all are weird. So, but like I said, like I think there's bias in cancellation. I think really the only thing that gets you in trouble is talking bad about those particular communities. Like, because let's see, who should have been canceled? Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen, if I recall, a couple years ago, I can't remember the times and all that fun stuff, but Charlie Sheen had AIDS.
Yeah,
a couple years ago, might be HIV.
Flat out AIDS.
Let me know if I'm wrong. If he didn't have AIDS, Charlie had AIDS, and it was revealed to the public a couple years ago. At the same time that he was admittedly sleeping with porn stars, multiple people, like having actual parties and stuff, full blown AIDS, multiple parties and things like that. So this is actually putting people's lives in danger.
The tiger blood saved his life. He said.
And when all of these things was going on, you know what we was doing? Quoting winner, winner, chicken dinner. That's what the fuck we was doing with Charlie Sheen. Was there anybody moving to cancel him, to really stop fucking with him like that, even though these are some heinous acts? If you really that shit, knowingly sleeping with people with heinous acts, don't care. That's what I'm saying. There's just certain things that you can still do as long as you fit the description of the people who can do certain things, and you're not talking about people in certain cultures. Mel Gibson. He had his anti-Semitic rants and stuff going on a couple years ago.
Yeah, his whole thing was based around the Jewish community. I remember the controversy at the time was when the Passion of the Christ was coming out, and there was like a level of guilt that they didn't want to feel about the events that were brought up and written in the script. So there were many a times that they had to go back and forth with him just to get some sort of approval. And then some of that stuff, he eventually was just like, fuck it, and went on and did what he did with the script. Right. And then I do remember when he got pulled over, and the cop wrote out how he started cussing about Jewish people, and it just turned into this whole other thing that is like, yeah, maybe he really don't like them, because he doing a little too much on separate occasions about it.
That part, but he had domestic violence rants, went through that whole thing when he was calling his ex and all that stuff and threatening her and all this fun stuff. And the dude, basically, he's crazy. He was doing some crazy shit. Was there any movement to say cancel Mel? And if there was, where is it? What, like...
He had one. He had one for that long. No bullshit. He had one for that long. And then it was like, my bad.
He had beef with Winona. He had Winona Ryder beef. That's what resulted from the Mel Gibson rants and anti-Semitism quotes, Semitic quotes, and all that stuff was a beef with Winona Ryder. There was no one saying, cancel him, don't let him do this, that, the third.
He asked her if she was, like, craziest shit I've ever heard. He asked her, was she an oven dodger? And it was just like, whoa, like, what the fuck is wrong with you, fam? But he popped up in movies again. That's all I looked up. He was supposed to be canceled. He showed up in one of the sequels to The Hangover. He was supposed to be in. Y'all did get him canceled from that. He showed up in Daddy's Home Part 2. And like a couple of different movies after that. And he was even able to direct, and I think y'all are very selective on who y'all cancel. Very, very selective, depending on who you offend, because a lot of times it's a certain level that y'all will let people get away with, and that level is black people. I'm just gonna flat out say it. Don't care who don't like it, but it's when that person steps on that other side and offends the people that they feel like they're financing everything. That's when, oh, he's gone too far. He's out of here.
Yeah, unless you're Brett Favre.
Unless you're Brett
Favre. We were all tied up in, I don't even remember what it was now, because I try to stay so focused on what Brett did, because a couple weeks ago, we were way more focused on, what were we worried about instead of what he was doing? Like, everything he was doing was under the radar, but it was still something in the NFL that everybody was so pressed about. Was it the Raiders once again, and somebody being in trouble? It was something else. It was something big that was going on.
Bare minimum compared to what Brett Favre did. Let me explain something to y'all. Brett Favre is worth $110 million, and he's committing welfare fraud. You know that thing that black folks often get accused of being, and we too lazy and we need to get up and go find a job and all that crazy shit. Brett Favre was doing just that to the several $1 million.
To the tune of $77 million. $77 million. And there's no cancel talk for Brett Favre. We're not worried about what Brett's doing.
Oh, y'all are church mouse quiet about Brett Favre.
We're not worried about what Brett's doing. Nobody said anything about it. Nobody said anything about boycotting anything where he used to get his funds. Fuck the NFL because he's associated. Nobody's done any of these things. Nobody's... Yeah. I don't know if he's got any endorsements, but nobody's announced the snatchings of any endorsements as far as I know.
And y'all were mad at me when I sarcastically said, oh, he'll be all right. It's not like he kneeled or anything. Y'all was mad as shit at me, but I don't care. Like, I feel like we should be talking about Brett Favre. Just like if Michael Vick till this day can't get a job without y'all bitching and moaning about it. Doesn't matter that he did his crime. Doesn't matter. He had a prison sentence. The judge felt like his punishment was fair. Y'all are still out here like, nah, fuck that. Doesn't matter that this man turned his whole life around. That will always be an asterisk under Michael Vick's name. It will always be there, and y'all will not let it go away. But this raggedy $110 million worth motherfucker steals $70-something million from the welfare system, and y'all are like, oh, it ain't that bad.
They didn't talk about it.
We don't know all the facts. Y'all say that shit anytime y'all want to defend one of them. I'm gonna say them because I don't want y'all bitching and moaning to me. It's always we don't know all the facts of what happened. We know he fucking stole some money that wasn't his.
It's just true.
So what's the problem here?
That part. So the most interesting cancellation, since we're talking about people making, statements that they may or may not should or shouldn't make on TV and on social media, and evidently on the phone and in text messages and in every realm possible. We gonna jump on our boy Ye real quick so we don't run out of time before we address.
Yeah, the elephant
Ye,
in the fucking
formerly Mr. formerly known as Kanye West. There's a lot of people talking about Ye right now, and everybody's on all sorts of places in the that picture, man. What the fuck? All the
he never looked so happy till he wore a MAGA hat.
Man, in the MAGA. So Ye, basically, I was sitting here trying to figure. I've been in Facebook jail. So I'm in social media jail. I don't really go on there that much because I don't really care, and then my life is too busy to really pay attention. So a lot of this stuff with Ye, I'm literally just now seeing in the last week or so, and I'm like, damn, this nigga's on one. Like, what is going on with this dude? And to me, it's looking like it's all of a sudden. Like, I've heard the stuff he's been going through over the months with, with his wife, and or his ex rather, with Kim, and then with her new dude or whatever the case is, and then whatever's happening on Instagram, which I'm also not active on. I don't pay attention to none of this shit. So I don't really pay attention to celebrities for that matter. It's just cancel culture cracks me the fuck up, guys. Y'all go from loving people on Monday to fuck that nigga on Tuesday to we don't know what we gonna do with him Wednesday.
I feel like,
and I want to know what happened with Ye from y'all's perspective, so fill me in. Like, I know what I've seen, I know what I got. I pulled up it's a whole fucking 2-page timeline of this nigga's fuckery. I just Googled it just to see what he's been up to.
Timeline.
And it's
That's
2
funny.
pages of rants of his social media pages on what this dude has been saying since, and it's only October 3rd to present. So, but again, I'm seeing people on thing, and they're like, y'all ain't with West, y'all fucking, y'all should be supporting Ye. That's fucked up. Y'all don't support Ye. Other people like, fuck him because he don't care about us. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is happening? What is going on with Ye? What's happening? What did he do? What's from your perspective?
The best way I can sum it up is, in my personal opinion, Kanye West has been seeking white validation since the Yeezus album. Because let's think about it. How many of y'all really listen back to the Yeezus album to this day? And it just gradually built up. Every time you look up, to me, it felt like Kanye West was throwing black people under the bus to seek that validation. Starting with the Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves. Slavery was a choice. All the way up to this point, the White Lives Matter shirt. Going on Tucker Carlson to say, the white man is the most oppressed individual in the world. And a lot of that stuff, when you ask people, it's like, how? How? That's why I directed y'all earlier as far as the people who, well, if you don't understand the plan, then that's just you. I feel like if the plan involves berating and downplaying black people in a way that is harmful, because he is definitely pandering to a crowd that they're going to use it for more harm than, something useful. That's why you have the people who got concerned. Now, I want to say this, and y'all ain't going to like me, and I don't care about it. Y'all are shocked as far as all of these endorsements and deals that are being dropped now. Y'all wasn't shocked. Y'all didn't have that same energy when he was shitting on black people. But the one that shocked me the most is the Adidas deal. I don't understand how you all are surprised. If you did just a little bit of research, then you would know. Adidas is a German-based shoe company whose 2 founders were allegedly Nazis. So in this day and age, with everything he's going on and saying anti-Semitic stuff about Jewish people, do you think they really want to step in and be like, nah, we got to support that? Or do you think they saw that and was like, nah, I'm good? And y'all got to understand, because those of y'all are like, look at the bigger picture and all that crazy shit. You don't believe that Adidas looked at this man, a company that's worth right now $21 billion. You think they didn't look at that man and say, we can stand to lose $250 million in the fourth quarter. We don't need this shit.
Yeah, that dude's been going off on Adidas.
Yeah.
That dude's been going off on Adidas. I was like, what did he say? Excuse me. I thought what he said was like super recent, you know what I mean? But I guess this was a follow. What he said recently was a follow-up
years
statement.
and years of building that we've watched, and instead of someone saying, "Man, we should intervene," someone should get him some help. Someone should get him to chill. Y'all just he keeping it too real for the masses. Stop believing what the media tells you, nigga. You think I don't see what's happening right in front of my eyes? I'm that goddamn stupid.
All right,
come on now. My bad. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
I went on a tangent.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
good. You're good. You're good. So too real for the masses. So this dude, just to point out a couple of things that he said, you know what I mean? He outright, we already started. I knew about the White Lives Matter shirt. So I think where a lot of people got really, I think that was the pinnacle of what switched everything to be like, this nigga is full out fucking tripping. Like, I think that's when the actual black community got a little more irritated with his behavior. I think the White Lives Matter shirt took it too far. I think that's what pushed everybody over the edge as far as the black. It's a lot of cancel culture communities for this dude. He's being canceled in several different cultures. So that's why it's a lot of people like, we're sick of you right now, right? We're not fucking with you. So he's funking with the black culture, the Jewish culture, the business community, the shoe wear.
He's probably beefing with niggas who, if y'all don't know, he just got kicked out of the Skechers offices, so he's probably beefing with niggas or kids who wear Skechers now, because I only see kids wear Skechers, and Joe Montana, because he be in the commercials. But, I mean, when he wore the White Lives Matter shirt, without any of us being outraged, without any of us having an emotional-based opinion, my question has always been, when did they not? In this country, and the way the system is designed, this patriarchal system that we have, when did they not matter? When was there a point in time that white lives in this country did not matter? What laws had to be put in place because at some point in time white lives did not matter? And let's keep it a buck here. We still are getting laws put in place for us to be comfortable in our own spaces. They just passed a law in 2019 called the Crown Act that keeps jobs from discriminating against us for wearing our natural hairstyles. 2019.
Facts.
And for those of y'all who want to get into the slavery was a choice thing that he said and equated to, the Irish were slaves, the Italians were slaves, here's a quick history lesson. That's not slavery. That's indentured servitude. These are people who would actually come to the country and say, hey, I would like to do this slavery work for 5 to 7 years, and were actually released. And the thing about those laws in indentured servitude are, the first time a quote-unquote white slave got his ass beat by a slave master, they passed a law, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say it was 1705 or 1707. They passed a law immediately saying, you cannot beat your white slave. And we're still getting laws passed for us to be peaceful in 2019. I want y'all to think of that.
Exactly. So yeah, so as I said, people, that just piss people off. The white lives going there. The slavery is a choice. There's a debate as far as what he meant with that, saying that, some say take it as literal as many niggas chose to jump off the boat, you know what I'm saying? That everybody else that stayed chose to, come over for whatever the fuck was happening. Some people, reference Kunta in the actual, slavery was a choice. You could have left if that was in you or your bloodline, and that person chose to stay and endure. Or you have the mental slavery, is what he's saying, as far as you're being a mental slave is a choice to whatever decisions it is that you're making. So at least those are the perspectives that I'm hearing, this kind of in defense of what Kanye is saying. Because like I said, everybody's all over the spectrum, and I'm just trying to grasp at all these different things that I'm seeing and trying to put it together. Like, what the hell did he do to produce this many different opinions about the same shit? Especially when one of the things I saw was deleted. It's a whole thing, something went viral and then deleted. But people are still
because I mean
quoting and staying.
The powers that be had to pull that, I guess. Because again, it gets to a point, and a lot of people have said, of course we get it. We understand a lot of the shit when they pull bullshit behind us as black folks. We have to stop being surprised at this point and figure out what's the alternative to kind of stop dealing with that issue and go for us and go for what we know. So when he gets in line with these folks and he starts fucking with their money, of course they gonna let him go. Of course they're going to show you the expendable token black guy that you really are to them when you get to a certain point, and then start playing with their money. Of course they're like, no, we ain't going with that shit.
Right.
what do we expect? We expect them to treat us the same when we know what they use him for.
Well, Adidas said they was going to review his contract late September. And then Kanye responded with, and I quote, "Fuck Adidas," with like 7 U's, all caps. This is on his social media. "Fuck Adidas. I am Adidas. Adidas raped and stole my designs."
And then he went into their office to show them like just a random employee of porn playing. And the dude's like, "I don't want to see this shit. What's going on here?"
Yeah. So
So
he's
off the rails,
go there and
y'all.
sexually harass the employees a little bit. That's sexual harassment. Yeah, you didn't know. You cannot just go and just freely show people porn. And at any place, at any venue, it's not okay. Scarlet Ranch, maybe. We'll get into that later. But anywho,
I implore y'all, anything that y'all think he's did that was okay, go into your regular ass job tomorrow and try any of the shit he's pulled in the span of like a month.
Yeah, he said that he brought up Lizzo being overweight in the same breath as saying genocide of the black race. And saying being overweight is genocide of the black race. And he brought up Lizzo in the same breath. Now, another person who brought up Lizzo in the same breath, brought up Lizzo is on a different thing being canceled. He's also being canceled right now. Aries Spears went through this whole cancel culture thing. And I don't know if it's before. Well, he was already being canceled for the Lizzo statement. He was already in the midst of cancel culture, grabbing hold of that for fat phobia things and as far as comments and whatnot. And there's a such thing as fat phobia. Now, like I said, y'all have not been ready to grow up in the... y'all couldn't have grew up with... The cancel culture is not consist of 80s babies. It couldn't be.
At all.
It couldn't be.
I thought phobias was shit you afraid of, and isms was... isms was just some shit you don't like or you're against. Like, what am I missing here as far as the wording of it?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back to school just to learn all of the correct pronouns and all the politically correct terms just to be able to get through life nowadays. Make sure that I'm referencing people and persons or whatever people correctly. Like, I don't know what people want to be called anymore. Everybody's they them, and then I don't know. You call somebody a they them who's actually a she, but she wants to be a cisgender. I can't. I don't know.
If I get confused on it, I'm gonna just call you, because that's not gender specific or what you consider yourself to be. So I could just be like, "Hey, you," and that works. So there's no confusion between us until you tell me specifically what you want to identify as, and I respect that either way because that's the type of person I am.
That part. So this dude, sorry, I want to go back to Kanye. We're not done. This dude talked that he did a lot. He did a lot. So he said the thing about Lizzo, and I digress because Aries, I just had to think about that. Like, there's somebody else going through it. Him and Tiffany are also canceled. Like I said, cancel culture is rampant, just depending on what it is and whom you did it to. Like, you're not supposed to do things to children, so to speak. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, y'all allow people to do things to kids. Like y'all won't cancel certain religions, and y'all know they do shit to kids from the beginning of time. But y'all, there's no cancel culture for that. And right. I don't understand. Like I said, I don't really understand how the views are pointed. Y'all pick the weirdest things to do the cancel culture on when it's exactly someone else or group that's doing the exact same thing that didn't endure the same kind of problem. So I don't understand.
I think the way Aries was perceived was, I mean, I finally watched the skit that everybody was in uproar about because I was like, if we're gonna talk about it, I need to know my research on it. And oh my God, it was a terrible idea. Terrible. From what I saw, I was like,
who wrote it?
My God,
who wrote this? Why would this even remotely be funny? This is traumatizing, especially for someone who's experienced that as a child, as far as pedophiles and having to deal with things like that. It's not funny. Like, I don't understand why anyone would be involved in that once you see it on paper. Like, it's the same way I'd be wondering, like, how some people just pitch the dumbest idea, and you're like, how did you get a group of fucking people to do this same dumb shit with you? Like, and it's I don't get it. I don't understand. But like I said, it's beta. It's beta behavior. It's something that's why I don't understand it. It's beta shit to do, and I don't get that
at all.
At all. But all that to say, Kanye. It's a lot of people that said Kanye's right. You know what I'm saying? He's basically just talking about how a lot of the industry did belong to Jewish people, and that black people, when they're hired, you know, and artists, they get on these labels that are owned by Jewish people, and they get, you know, they get money, and they're paid to do all these things and make all these visions for us to see, and us getting killed, and us being, you know, and the black people being the ones who are killed or greedy or whatever the case may be. But when you turn around and say, you know, we're not the ones who are greedy in this, then it becomes an issue. And that's what everybody is saying. They're saying he's not saying anything but saying the truth. Other people are saying it's not cool because he's saying it's a certain class of people who he's saying, you know, act like this. But at the same time, black people as a class of people have always been told we act certain ways. And so we don't get to go cancel everybody else for saying we act certain ways. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's got stereotypes. Everybody's got different things with their culture that, again, we've lived with since America's created. This is a melting pot. We're all trying to deal with different, you know, deal within our own groups, subdivisions inside of all this. But we've always acknowledged others, whether we want to laugh about it and make it comedic, whether we want to be angry about them. We do acknowledge and see our differences.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Jewish people do own a lot. They're very, very successful, and they're wealthy. So if that's something, it's like,
and that's what I wanted to touch on, because you know, you remember at one point in time, Jay-Z had a lyric where he said, "Do you want to know why Jewish people own all the property in America? This is how they did it." And they tried to say it was an offensive thing or it was an insult to them, and he was just saying, "No, I'm trying to explain to people, like, this is how they're doing it. This is how they're going about it. Like, we admire the fact that you guys have a plan and a strategy on how to do this shit. And it's one thing that we as a community don't know. We have not conquered that idea and that strategy and that plan where we could say we own all of this area and this is us, and we own these businesses and they're strictly run by us, and we have our own system that's set up for us." You know what I mean?
Right. That part. Well, we're going to take a really quick commercial break and come back and wrap up But What Do I Know podcast. Please stay with us. Drop your comments so we can address them when we get back. Be right back.
Set up automatic savings. Have a process in place at regular intervals, whether that's monthly, weekly, or even daily.
We'll be very unstoppable if we come all together and do everything as one. And it'll be something that'll be very, very amazing to see if that ever happens. If everybody comes together as one and just put all the bad things aside and just focus on the main goal, which is to make our community better. So.
What Do I Know podcast. We are talking about cancel culture and diving into, you know, things like celebrities and different people that we feel, y'all feel, I'm not gonna say we feel, y'all feel need to either be canceled, or we're really just trying to understand how that whole process works. We were in the middle of talking about Kanye's behavior right now, because there's several different cultures who are kind of just through with him right now. Like, so usually when you're being canceled, you at least have somebody to run to. You know what I mean? So you're like, okay, so you're talking stuff about the LGBTQ plus community. So, you know, okay, you might run over to the, like, not to say run, but like when Dave Chappelle had these concerns about people trying to cancel him, he still had the comedic community to fall back on. You know, he still had, you know, the black, he still had several communities that could still be like, hey, you know, he's a cool person, you know, don't do that or whatever. That's not the thing. I'm going to still support him regardless of what the fuck y'all do. So,
right.
He don't have that right now. He don't have nobody saying, well, he's got a few people in a couple pockets, but yay. Got mixed reviews right now. Like, he's a little all over the place.
A few people in the pocket, people who say it's chess, not checkers, and don't know how to play no damn chess. That's another thing. No, I'm sorry, we're not going back to that. I feel like it's gotten to a point where every time a certain crowd or audience attempts to defend him, he says some shit that you're just like, yeah, I gotta fall back on this. You lost me there, fam. And I think a lot of times, if with artists, and this falls back to what I said as far as, you know, niggas will accept anything as long as you make them dance. A lot of times when he was putting out sonically good albums that you were excited about, you know, he can kind of just tread that fence and really play and get away with shit because that next album would be banging. And it got to a point where now we listen to the record at that time, and then we not talk like a lot of those records that we go, this is sonically good, this is sonically amazing. We not going back to those albums as often. There's a lot of albums after My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy that we not going back and listening as often. We might have our songs that we pick and pull from there, but I think, and that's the same with, you know, like the Baby and every crazy thing he said about the LGBTQ community. I feel like if he had music that was up to par, if he wasn't constantly, if everything didn't sound the same, if he was actually doing something different, more diverse and growing as an artist, they'd probably let him get away with more. But now they're not buying his albums and shit no more because eventually people got tired of the antics and was like, you know what, I'm good. Buddy's music ain't even something to slap. That's how people feel now.
You think that was his actual music, or that he's just a victim of cancel culture and people stopped supporting him and stopped buying his stuff, but they really did like his music? Like, I mean, granted, a lot of the beats are cool. Like, I'm not gonna say I won't dance to a Baby song. If it comes on, I like the Baby. Like, his stuff's pretty cool. It'll whatever plays on Spotify plays type thing. But I wouldn't say I would ever. He's never done anything that made me want to be upset with him over his comments to that community. One, I'm not in the community to be that upset about what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's none of my business. You know, that's something where I would personally choose whether or not to deal with that person. That wouldn't be something where I see myself jumping on things, signing petitions, rah-rahing for people to... Petitions! Y'all, okay.
Now, petitions is
just
a whole other
really
thing.
quickly, guys, I did not realize that you get canceled by petitions. People sign petitions to cancel people. Like, I was not aware that that's how this worked. Dude, I don't know if it's a vote thing. Like, it was... I
don't know
just
if
found
those
it out
ever
this show.
actually work.
Change.org. Change.org, they got 90,000 votes and counting to cancel Kanye West. Now, in the midst of these requests to have him canceled, Adidas walked and took they finally got rid of him for saying, well, he said that no matter what he said, and I quote,
I can say all the
I can say all the Semitic shit I want. Adidas is not, where is this? Where'd he go?
Adidas will not drop me.
Yeah, Adidas will not drop me. And then he said it twice. He said it again. Like, it doesn't matter. I'll say whatever I want. They're not going nowhere.
Then he fucked around and found out.
Man, I'm just saying, that shit, don't be that confident in any relationship. If you can learn from anything from Ye, just learn in any relationship, don't be that confident where you just throw that shit out there.
Yeah. Don't ever think that you can put your... Don't ever think that you can put your nuts on the table in such a way that if these people look and see you gonna start fucking with their money, they will cut you off immediately.
That shit happens with broke folks every day. Like, that shit just reminding him, like, it's not a money. I'm like, I don't even know if it was a race. I don't know if this is a race situation or a money thing, because I think that happens in any dynamic where you're dealing with somebody who doesn't make as much as you. It's like a how dare you like kind of situation. Yep. Like, don't you ever put yourself in that kind of situation. If Fat Bank can't, if you offer some Fat Bank, take Skinny Bank kind of thing with the person that you're speaking with, the last thing you want to do is give them an ultimatum of your presence. Like, because they don't give them, you're going to take a loss. You're going to take a loss in that. Real quick, I want to address a comment. We were saying as far as the black culture and why the black culture is upset with Kanye, and I think this comment speaks to a lot of people are feeling right now. He says, I feel like the only time Ye embraces the black community is when he is battling Kim and her family. Then all of a sudden is, oh, I'm a black father. But to me, it feels like the only people he respects are rich white men. Unless you're Jewish.
You know what?
Unless you're of a right or of Jewish descent.
Unless you're Jewish, then you know.
Yeah. Kind of disrespectful.
And that's true. He's black when he goes online and it's, I'm a black father fighting to be a black father, and y'all not around to support me through this, and this, and this. And it's like, how? You just shitted on me for 30 minutes and told me I wasn't shit. And, you know, Kanye has become, shout out to my homegirl, Londa Simmons. I remember a long time ago, she made a quote. She said, don't argue with people that Harriet Tubman would have shot, and went on about her business. And that's essentially what he's slowly becoming in front of us, is like, yeah, I'm not arguing with this dude about this crazy shit. I'm going about my business.
Within this month, between the White Lives Matter and the Adidas statements, this dude done took us back to George Floyd, took us back to one of the most sensitive years of summers that we've been through in the last 5 years or so. Took us back to there, and then said that he died because of fentanyl, not because of the verdict that everybody fought for all that stuff to show that man died, you know, by asphyxiation. He wanted to say it's fentanyl,
like we didn't see this man get choked on camera. Like they didn't have a toxicology report that said clear as day that man did not have any level of drugs in his system that would have killed him.
We watched a month of trials. How long was that? It was a month. I don't remember. It was every day. And just watch this and see how that panned out. And that's what that man went out there and said. So that's another reason. Floyd's family is definitely like fuck him, and a lot of everybody that supports that family is over that dude's shenanigans right about now. Then after that, he did the drink champs. That was when he did the anti. I can literally say any shit I want to, anti-Semitic shit, and they can't drop me. He said can't. That's a strong word. Can't, won't. That is not. That is sometimes that's beyond your control, man. With what someone else can't do, is really beyond your control. What somebody else won't do is definitely beyond your control. So if you can learn anything from Kanye, can't and won't, do not apply those to other people. That is definitely a personal contraction. I can't, I won't. That's your own personal shit. Don't ever project those things, because you'll be wrong every time on something like that.
Y'all saw the movie? David Ruffin thought the Temptations wouldn't fire his ass.
Hey, nobody came to say you owe this. Oh my God! So it's just, I don't know, but a lot, like I said, that like when you look at the movies that we've seen, when they did the whole, when NWA did their movie, and we got to see the relationship that Eazy-E had with their founder,
Jerry Heller,
right? With Jerry,
yeah.
That was another situation where Jewish dude had a label, black folk got on to this, that, the third. So I mean, we've seen these scenarios before that he's describing. So it's not like he's naming something that we as a people haven't seen. We've seen several. James Brown movie. You look at the James Brown movie, his right-hand man was a Jewish dude who had a record company who got him on. So it was just kind of like he's really naming these are examples of shit that really happened. These are relationships and how they flourished. And yes, those were the races of the people. And then when things happened that they were unhappy with money-wise, things had to change.
Yeah, now let's not get it twisted. Kanye West's delivery and what he was saying, rather we understood it or interpreted it whatever way, it was a very poor delivery. Very poor delivery. And my issue was never what he said, because he said it in a way that was like, oh, that's terrible. No, not like that, fam. But I got what he was saying. My issue has always been with him shitting on black people to get that validation from everyone else. And it's like, you don't need that. You're fucking Kanye West. You are considered a genius at this point where you don't have to do the extra shit for people to pay attention to you.
I don't know. He's called the R word. He's the mental health. Another community that he done pissed off, and nobody really paid attention to what he's doing in all the communities. The mental health community is also all about canceling him, is pissed off at him right now, because not only has he been funking with Pete, they love Pete. Pete has mental health issues, and so he's been messing with Pete David all this time because of his relationship with his ex. But Ye used the R word, you know what I'm saying, several years ago when Black Eyed Peas was at the top of the charts. Everybody decided that R word was no longer acceptable. And so we all love let's get it started, and a lot of us know what the original was rhymed with started, you know what I mean? So but it's the R word that we can no longer use in society because it's been banned. It's like R word is worse than the N word in society. Really R word and the F word, you know what I mean? The F word also will get you in trouble. Not I can say fuck all day. That ain't the word I'm talking about. A lot of y'all know. But he said Joe Biden is effing R word. And he said, and then he said, I can say that because I'm one of them. So as far as saying being part of the mental
No, I didn't know that.
the mental health condition.
Oh,
So
this nigga's crazy.
yeah, called that effing R word and then justified it by saying he can say that because he's in that community. So they are done with Ye. They are also done with Ye and his shenanigans and his statements. Let's see, what else did he do? That's when he so that's when he started racking in the things they'd had about enough of this dude. So that was about the last thing he did was call the president of the United States effing R word and then justified it by saying he has mental health concerns, so he can use that word. And which is like a timeless and it's a timeless argument though. It's a timeless argument that people have said I can use that word because I'm in that class. Now I don't know. I mean, that's people. That's how the N-word works, right? That's how the N-word works. So I mean, I'm not in that community. It's not for me to speak up on that. I do have some mental health concerns, but not enough to be running around justifying them by saying, "Embrace me." All my fellow R words.
Right.
So,
I'm an R word too. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, well,
embrace me.
In the 80s, I mean, it was, what was the term? It was the slang was corky. Y'all gonna like, please don't cancel me. I'm talking about the slang was corky back in the day. Like that was it. That's really the only term you had. We didn't have all the different definitions of mental health because there wasn't that kind of concentration on it to be able to define what all the different issues were. So like, you know, there's some people who are bipolar, there's some people who are schizophrenic. We just knew our friend and he could act funny. That's all we know. That dude, we a little weird. He a little up and down. He's a little, you know, he's some days he's up, some days we don't really know about that dude. That guy's kind of weird. So that's what we had. We had special, and that's the people that was, you know, in the class where you was cool. And you could go to class, but you might scream randomly every now and again. You might be prone to just grab people real hard, real tight grip. There was this dude named David that went to my school, and he looked real normal, but out of nowhere, he was just like, "Ah!" And he would just grab the fuck out of people and squeeze you. So David, you know what I mean? We knew David was special, you know what I mean? So that was a term for them. And then anybody else that wasn't just special was all the way quirky. And that's because our show was Life Goes On. Y'all didn't grow up 80s, so y'all didn't know. Corky was the star of his own show. He was disabled. He was our first R word handicapped television star. So that's who we grew up with, and he was disabled, but everybody knew Down syndrome. Everybody who had Down syndrome pretty much takes on the same facial structure, and so we knew in 80s, and then yes, it was crass, but it was, you know, special, and then it was like quirky. So we was like, okay. And then all of a sudden, you start getting R words and just all this different stuff, and people just want different classifications, and that's when I just bow out now, because it's like, we went through so many jacked up terms and stuff for people and for who they were. It just,
man,
I don't know.
I don't know how y'all would have survived in those times, because we was saying some wild shit. Like, man, like shit you can't get away.
Crazy.
100% you can't get away with no more. Like a comedy, a stand-up comedy like Delirious, Eddie Murphy Raw. There's no way some of the shit that was said on those would fly in this day and age.
That's my guy. I would still be weak.
Yeah, I mean,
my sense of humor is horrible.
It's funny when I watch them because I get the time and that it was, you know, funny in that time. But putting something out like that now with those words, there's no way it survives in this climate right now.
All right, so this climate right now, really quickly, I want to touch before we get out of here. We know people are getting canceled. We already get it. You can do certain things that get you canceled with some people, and like some of them, they just don't like you. I don't know if cancel is like as much as you just keep talking about them to where other people just dislike them. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like on some Denver shit. That's Denver shit.
Oh shit.
That's Denver shit. That's the Denver shit. Like, I think there's levels to this. Like, I think one of the levels is definitely the Denver level of shit. Denver is somewhere where people run around and try to get everyone not to like people or like things because they don't like them. I've never seen this shit so much in my fucking life, and it's like, and it's the most beta behavior ever seen. Like I said, I think cancel culture type shit is weenie, and especially the leaders. The leader, whoever started it, is the most weenie person out of everybody, because you need followers to make your actions. And that's the weirdest shit to me ever. People who
Yeah.
need people to go with you is the most weenie ass person in the room. Hey, I'm about to go outside real quick and fuck these niggas up. You coming? Nigga, what the fuck, nigga?
Nah, man, go do your thing.
You weenie ass nigga,
Put
you
your nuts on
started
the
that
table.
shit.
You
You
that
handle
guy.
your shit.
Yeah.
So you got problems, you fucking weenie. Handle your problems. So that's I don't like that shit. That shit's always bothered me. If you that person that needs to have 20 people going everywhere with you doing, that's the weeniest way to move ever to me. Because especially if like you can't, if you don't like, I don't like you, or I don't like them, so you can't like them.
Right.
And if you that kind of person that demands that shit out of people you're around, that they can't even like the same people, like people because you don't, that's the weeniest shit ever. That is the most, and the
That's
people
real.
who do that are the most beta behavior people I've ever seen in life. If you gotta sit there and be like, oh, my homegirl don't like you, so I don't like you. Make your own decisions. The fuck, what the fuck did I do to you? I could be the best fucking, your saving fucking grace, but you don't like me because this bitch I fuck this bitch, man, so you... Get your own reasons to stop liking people. Y'all niggas is weird, Colorado. I want to squeeze that in real fast. I like to tell Denver what I know. You're weird. Denver moves real weenie like. Anyway, I think cancel culture definitely.
No, bosom buddy.
Yes, yeah, that's some weird shit. Denver got that shit bad, but it's a smaller spectrum. But Denver tries it. You know what I mean? We don't like them. No, well, fuck, please. I wish you would. Again, that's beta behavior. People who follow in behind stuff without your own reason and your own vested reason for not liking someone or liking something. You're liking, y'all are definitely betas if you didn't know where you fit in this whole level of things as far as the hierarchy. You're beta. Anywho, do you think there's a thing that's taking cancellation too far? Before we get out of here, like Cosby, I want to real quick. Our boy Cosby, the man we grew up with as an actual pillar of the black community as far as we were concerned, you know what I mean, and everything he did, right down to getting on people like Eddie Murphy and some of the comedians you were talking about their material and about the things and the images that they were putting out for black people and how they were portraying us. He went through his stuff in his jail time and served, man, served, bless his heart, he's an ex-con now. Jesus Christ. But during this time, this man in his elderly years went to prison for crimes against white women, of course, naturally. That's the only thing they're gonna give a fuck about. Because if it was any other color, we would never hear this shit again. But he went to crimes for crimes against white women, and they pulled his Hollywood star. They just did a lot. You know what I mean? They did a whole lot. Like, not only did he go to jail, they pulled his star up off the ground. And when you think about the amount of things that have been done in Hollywood,
and it's I don't know if you. I mean, I'm pretty sure we remember a time 80s and shit. I remember parents talking about the rumors of what he was doing, and we didn't know. None of us really knew the detail of it. I think the reason some of the black community kind of looked at Bill Cosby and what he did is because at some point in time he just started shitting on us, and you'll never be anything because your mother had you out of wedlock, and telling the community to keep their pants up and quit sagging the whole time. This nigga can't keep his pants up. But I think it's just I feel like that was what made folks cancel him, is because we listened to everything he said and believed that he was such this decent person that maybe what he's saying has some merit to it, and the whole time he doing what he do. So now we're looking at him like, how dare you,
That's cool. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's too far. I just know y'all let a cancel culture, y'all that believe in the shit, let a lot of weird shit go to be pursuing the people that you guys are pursuing to actually cancel. So, but I really do think that a lot of people you'll be okay in this community and saying whatever you want, pretty much, as long as you don't say anything about LGBTQ plus or the Jewish people, the Jewish community. As long as you keep those two communities out your mouth, you can probably say just about anything about anyone. You can definitely say whatever and do whatever you want to the black community. That's one of the main things driving the whole Dahmer thing, is because of the fact that most of his victims were brown. They were IPOC, so they don't care. So it says BIPOC, that's who he was killing, that's who he was murdering, that's pretty much why it's no thing. If you were to go back and show change all the dynamics of it, make Dahmer a black man going around killing gay white men, it would have never seen the air.
Y'all wouldn't be rocking them costumes, that's for damn
You'd have never
sure.
seen the air. Y'all would have definitely not been. Y'all been trying to figure out why is something like this on television, because it makes people feel like this is something they want to go do or have the power to be, or glamour, glorifying this kind of thing. And so we would get a lot more of that if the dynamic was switched. So that's just what I think. I think cancel culture is very biased. And again, I think it's weenie. That's my final thing. I think it's weenie, and I think the leaders are the weeniest of them all. I just believe in. I grew up in there. I grew up in say what you want and just ignore the person if you don't like what they saying. Like I never believed in I don't like this person. I need 20 other people to not like them with me. I believe I don't like this person. Period. And then I make my own decision and I fuck with them people, and then everybody else can move as they so please. And I just think that the world worked a lot better when people operated that way, unless you're gonna band together to get rid of shit like KKK and things that really are out to do fucked up things to people and directly to certain cultures. Like band together to get rid of shit like that. Like I don't get it. I really don't get it. But anyways, you got anything else to say to the people before we get out of here?
Don't be. I couldn't even get it off. I was gonna say, don't be out here saying chess not checkers if you don't know how to play no damn chess.
Man,
I can't stress this enough.
Get
I'm
off
sorry.
of that. How you gonna quiz them and shit? You gonna pull out your board like name all the ones in the front row? like, oh my god.
I'm sorry, man. I've been so sick of y'all trying to argue me down on social media, and it's like it really ain't that serious to me, y'all. So when y'all get in your feelings and want to say mean, hurtful, below the belt shit, you do know the gloves is off at that point, right? I just want to warn y'all, that shit don't be hurting my feelings. It's just an indication that the gloves is off, and I could say hurtful things like call you a crackhead.
So is this a metaphor? Like, what are you saying? Like, so really, I'm sorry, chess not checkers. Is this a metaphor for something, or you're saying literally chess?
It's like based on strategy is what they're saying. It's more strategic than checkers. Checkers is simple. Chess isn't. Yeah. That's what they're trying to say. So
yeah, no, I mean I know the phrase. I'm just saying in this particular instance, I'm trying to figure out what you were saying. You can't say that phrase. I'm like, are you saying literally if you can't play chess? Or like, what are you saying?
No, they just they don't know how is what I mean.
Okay, all right, I got you. I'm with you now. We're the same page. We're leading on the same page.
Yeah, I'm done. Now I'm done. I'm done, y'all.
All right, y'all. I want to thank you very much for tuning in to But What Do I Know podcast. Next week. Tune in next week. Next week, I'm going to spill the beans about the book that I'm writing, so y'all can get a little taste of what that is, but it's a major part of next week's show, which is accountability. I'm going to go ahead and tell the story about a couple of different situations, because there's some people lying in these streets, and they getting a lot of likes and shit off of their tears and their bullshit about who they claim to be in society. So we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to show accountability for every part I had to do with their fuckery and they fuck shit. We're going to talk about it. But anyways, RUKUS 303 is where you can find our episodes and follow me on social media.
TREY Smith, my main page, Trey the artist page, and then Will Mac was there 83 on Instagram.
Okay, there it is. Thank y'all for tuning in. Come back next week. See ya.
Spirit fingers.
Dope.